Good afternoon. My name is Ruslana and this is Nedim. Actually, we both of us we represent the City Data Initiative, which this initiative is implemented by ОПОРА NGO and TakeSoup. Thank you. Are the jokes relevant now? I think so, because the previous presentation, I love it very much. The previous one about the gender equality. I just recall that this morning on the news I saw the information that in Ukraine there are 820 and 160 men for 1,000 women in Ukraine. So, ladies, please more insistive in your fight for gender equality, because I am a Crimean Tatarian and I know what I'm talking about. So we represent ОПОРА and TakeSoup Europe organizations. Even we would like to tell you about our project. My question is, who visited PDF Ukraine last year? Yeah, some people were present there, and you probably remember that we were talking a lot about open data and seal tech in general, and we would like to tell you about the experience accumulated since then within our project. In Ukraine, there is a unique experience and specifics. And I just learned that in so-called Japanese restaurants you can buy Ukrainian sushi. They have Ukrainian fat as an ingredient. So I don't know how they deal with the copyright about this Ukrainian product based on Ukrainian ingredients, but those Japanese products with Ukrainian ingredients. So open data in Ukraine are implemented in a specific Ukrainian way. So once we already had in Ukraine the event with the open data activists, and we had a joke how data become open in Ukraine, and I think it is the best illustration. And when you start working with open data, you are expecting for big potential and flight, and then you face a very dramatic fall. So among Ukrainian open data activists, it's very relevant illustration and video. So basically, anyway, we can see the progress if compare it with the previous year and how the implementation, open data policy implementation is developing. It is a very short time reform. I'm talking about Ukrainian cities and towns. We have the resolution number 835, and the local officials are aware of it and they are willing to implement it. So we can talk that there is a progress from the ancient times to current days, and before there was opposition to the new policy, and now we can watch the progress. Every coin has two sides. The same with our project. Last year we started with challenges, and our idea was to have any idea with a data set. We were searching for the data, and we failed to do that. And we started creating the data for our project. Actually, we didn't create them, we didn't develop them, we just sent inquiries, requests, and we sent more than 700 inquiries. We asked for a type of table format in order to simplify their processing. But let's guess. I have a question to the audience. In which format we got the information? Orally? No. You will be surprised. We got scanned documents with signatures and stamps, and it was very difficult. They were very difficult to process because we have to identify them, and then we had to structure them and to purify them. So, and there was a misunderstanding. Also, sometimes we got very strange replies. Compared to the previous year, our work now is more efficient, and it is more understandable by the public officers. Last year, we quite often got the reply saying that our request requires a lot of time and efforts, and now they are more, let's say, open, and they would like to be engaged in open data policy implementation in Ukraine. In addition, just following the resolution 835, with regard to implementation of open data policy, and they would like to have certain open data required by the resolution to have the same structure. When last year we actually got the reaction like that from our public officials. Going back to our project, I'd say that this project and the experience we got working in the Ukrainian cities and towns promoting open data policy. This year we have 55 cities applicants, but we participating in the contest because we were able to we have only 5 cities in the town in the project. When we started traveling from the cities to cities, we understood how many obstacles they still face at their local level. Could you tell Ruslana about your experience of communicating with communities? First of all, I think they face a lot of problems with resources and understanding of the issue, and there are also problems related with the reforms themselves. Here in Kyiv, we are a bit far from the practical situation. And we develop here in the national level, we develop certain resolution, we require certain structure, etc. And then some data activists join the process. They track the implementation of the open data policy in certain cities, and it causes a lot of misunderstanding, and the officials
They have such a great, reality gap because in the cities everything goes in different ways. So and there is a big problem. The open data in the cities must be open to the community but opening for the purpose of opening is not needed and not understandable because open data must be used. And they must be used as both data activists and coders and NGOs who create some services, studies, and analyze the data. And there is a big problem. Some data are open only based on some court decision, things like structure of the departments, and it's very difficult to do a service based on that. So very often we ask the cities how exactly you open the data, how does it happen? Uh, like hinting that let's have some public hearing and so on. But well, most of the time we hear like we are kind of open, just come to us, take and read. Like that's what we encounter. The data are opened, but not the data we need and not about what we need to know. So it's like in that anecdote about a boy who had to take 100 grannies across the road, but he was taking wrong grannies and in the wrong side of the road. So that's what happens to the open data in Ukraine. But we do have some positive experience under our project. One of the winners of our challenge, which started last year, it was the open school. The open school is now scaled up to the whole country. It's a cool project. They first sent requests to schools all around Ukraine to collect information and process it. Now they just return the data, the processed data, but the problem is actually they did the work of the education officials. But the project is working throughout Ukraine without my most beloved Crimea because of the reasons we all know. So actually this information is very important and needed by many citizens because this project, this service started in April and only in August the project, the Open School had over 18,000 users in just 1 month. In August, a lot of users come to them and take this information, but the big problem is that they collected this information with their own hands and they worked with volunteers, but it was not done by the state as it should have been. So first of all, we must stress that opening the data is important, but it must be about the important to be actually used and not for some positive or negative ratings. And we can explain that through the education, through educational activities, through very intense contacts and cooperation with the cities, with authorities of the cities, because we all know that the progress can't be stopped. It will take place anyway, and everything is going to be open data sooner or later. Oh, I hope so. And I'd really like to stress that the policy of open data in Ukraine is implemented. Well, it's not good or bad, it's our experience, our mentality, and we must understand that in each country there are some specifics. So let's use it. Let's engage some international experience, but we still must have Ukrainian pass, and one day it will be open data. Yes, so it's like that anecdote about sushi with lard. So Ukrainian pass must be Ukrainian pass. So we just got 2 more minutes for closing. Thank you.